Hello everyone, Andrew here, and welcome back to Donkey Kong Country 1, where last time we talked way too much and beat the first 3 levels and visited Cranky. And this time we're going to be moving on to Coral Capers, which is our first underwater level of the game, and it has that music that everybody loves. I love Donkey Kong Country 1 and 2 underwater music. I wasn't the biggest fan of Donkey Kong Country 3's. I mean, it's very, like, it fits the mood, but it's definitely not, something I would probably listen to, like, all day long like I would the Donkey Kong Country 1 or 2. Underwater music. My sister disagrees. She loves the Donkey Kong Country 3 underwater music, but it's okay. Everyone can enjoy different things differently. Down here we have a bunch of secret bananas and stuff, which it's really weird. It's like I'm not really sure how I ever why I tried going through the floor there, but there is for some reason a secret there. Not something that's like required or anything like that. Underwater levels actually don't have bonus games, so just by beating it we get a free exclamation mark at the end of the level name, which is pretty cool. But this level does have On Guard, the introduction of what's probably my favorite animal buddy, just because he makes underwater levels so much more fun and easier, and wow, see, that's what I'm talking about. Balloons disappearing like nothing. It's like, but I think we have enough lives, because we haven't turned the game off, that I don't think we need to worry about missing out on a couple one else. I'm not going to replay the whole level just to prove to you that there was a one up there, because you could actually see that one, but I was always amazed by that secret at the end of the first level that I never knew, but I always thought that was cool. Also, in this game, you can have double On Guard, I guess. Yeah, but he'll disappear like the second you go off screen. Although I'm trying not to lose this guy. It's just boom, or I mean, oh man, I'm trying to destroy you. Why won't you let me destroy you? There we go. That's what I was trying to do. In this game, you cannot hold the A button to kind of charge up their attacks. Pressing the A button actually kind of throws you off of them. So like Rambi doesn't get like an attack where you can run at walls really fast, and On Guard doesn't get an attack where you can dash. What would you even call it? Dash? Spear at walls really fast? That sounds somewhat decent. So yeah, he doesn't get anything like that in this game. Not that there's any walls or anything to actually break open with On Guard, because I already mentioned that there's no bonus games in the underwater levels. But they can be still quite tricky, and like there's some underwater levels later on in the game, and it's like, how do you even beat this? No, it's like a big maze. How many underwater levels are even in this game? So there are literally only 2. There's one in this world, not in the second world, not in the third world. Oh no, there's an ice one. There's 3 underwater levels. Spoiling everything, but then, again, this came out in 1994. I think that coming out 20 years ago gives me the right to say a few things about it, but, I mean, you'll see it when we get there. I would assume that most people have probably played Donkey Kong Country at one point, but I hope you're still watching this and enjoying it, because, people love to listen to me ramble. For some reason, haven't quite figured that one out yet. But here we have Funky Kong, who will allow us to borrow his plane barrel thing and fly to different worlds. But unfortunately, it will only allow us to fly to the places that we have been, which is kind of a flaw. It's really weird that on the overworld, for some reason, I never understood why it made it look like there was like a world before this world, even though there's not. It never made any sense to me, but basically, pressing left does absolutely nothing. We can only go to the Kongo Jungle, so that was kind of useless. In this game, it doesn't cost anything to fly from world to world. Something I never pointed out was that, unlike in Donkey Kong Country 2 and 3, there's no kind of currency or coins in this game. So we actually don't need to pay to like save and to talk to Cranky, because his information is just so valuable. But yeah, so that's an interesting difference between the first Donkey Kong Country and the second and third. Again, this is another one of those levels where there's like an upper level, a lower level, and there's even kind of a middle level. Right here, we can actually go downwards and collect that guy. Which again, the frog guy's name, which darn, I actually promised that I would know that by this part, and I'm definitely not going to cut here as I look it up on my phone. So I'm definitely not doing that. That's right, so in this game you have Rambi the Rhinoceros, Winky the Frog, I totally forgot that one, On Guard the Swordfish, I knew Espresso the Ostrich, and Squawks the Parrot, of course. So that is who we will be seeing in this game. I knew Espresso, I totally knew that. Any comments in the last, in the last part about that, I apologize for. I totally knew Espresso. Not sure how I forgot that. But this is the level that kind of introduces barrel shenanigans that would become a gigantic staple of the Donkey Kong Country series. Not so much in the second one, or in the third one rather, but the second one, of course, has those bramble levels where stuff all over the place. And darn, I totally didn't mean to go into that. That's kind of what I meant by this level having an upper path. Shoot. I totally meant to get into that, because by doing that, we actually missed the bonus game. I guess that technically counts as the first death of this run. I think it's the first death. I'm pretty sure it's the first death. But yeah, I was actually going to show off kind of the cheap upper path afterwards, because what I want to do is I actually want to go into this. Because another one of those really crazy impossible secrets is if you miss that barrel, you actually shoot right through the wall. And it brings you to this bonus game. But yeah, I didn't want to cheat over everything. For some reason I thought that I was supposed to go on that barrel, but that's not right. This level is actually really interesting. You can cheat over pretty much the entire thing, making the entire kind of barrel shenanigans skippable for people who don't like them, which, I mean, as a kid I absolutely hated them, although these days I actually don't really mind. But by doing that, you of course miss, you know, all the bonus games and lives and other things like that, which are fun to collect. Such as this one, which is one of those, Donkey Kong Country 1 has a lot of these bonus games where it's like, pick one, and you get a random prize. Although sometimes, if you're really lucky, you can time it, and you can get 2. But I was a little bit off there. If I'd done it just a little bit earlier, I actually could have pulled it off. You can... Wow, he was supposed to land on the TNT. You also can't re-enter bonus games, despite the fact that it looks like the door is open over there. So losing at a bonus game means you pretty much need to die and then re-enter the level. Although, of course, since beating a bonus game, or like, you know, winning at a bonus game, does not count towards our total percentage, it's not something I'm probably going to worry about, except for in very rare cases. But here we have, you know, the true introduction to barrel shenanigans, which, as I said, you know, are going to be a commonly recurring theme in all of Donkey Kong Country games for all eternity. Speaking of all Donkey Kong Country games, I remember it was so cool when they, you know, brought back Donkey Kong Country with Donkey Kong Country Returns back on the Wii. That was just so awesome, and I was so happy that they did that. And Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is probably my favorite Wii game. It is just an absolutely fantastic platformer. But with that said, I do want to go back into this level because I do want to show the kind of upper path I was talking about that I didn't mean to accidentally spoil. So bouncing on a guy and going on top of the entrance here brings us to this barrel, which will allow us to kind of cheat across a large chunk of the level. I mean, at least the first half of the level. So yeah, one of these was the one that I accidentally jumped into. I think it's, yeah, it's actually over here I got this. Oh, darn it, now we have 3 Rambies. The biggest problem with collecting 3 animal tokens of the same animal is, I mean, yeah, you have to play this bonus game, but then it takes you all the way back to the beginning of the level. Actually, I think if you have a checkpoint, it takes you to the checkpoint. But still, it's kind of a pain, especially if it's a difficult level. The time actually goes down really fast. Like, this is not being sped up. That is like, I think it's literally going down like 10 seconds for every 3 real world seconds, which I don't know why they did that. I mean, they really could have given you a little bit more time, but basically, if you jump across the entire top, you find the gigantic animal token, but I mean, you hardly have enough time to collect, like, smaller ones before collecting the multiplier ones, so it's kind of silly. Like, honestly, I'm not sure why they had to make 100 seconds go by in, like, 20 real-life seconds. It seems kind of silly. But fine. To try number 3 now, or I mean, playthrough, I mean, playing, you know, this level number 3. This is how you can pretty much cheat through the entire level without accidentally entering the Rambi bonus game. So yeah, this is what I accidentally did last time, skipping a little bit of barrel shenanigans down there, but it wasn't too big of a deal. Is this the one that you can jump on top of? Or actually, I think we have to use our legs for a few seconds here. And I think it's, no, not right here. It's these guys. No, not quite yet. Yeah, right here. You can actually bounce on top of this guy. We're actually going to switch to Diddy since he's a little more agile, as I said. And if you bounce on this guy, you can get on top of here. And this will allow you to completely cheat past that entire last barrel section that I showed. So for people who hate the barrel sections, this is the trick for you. I guess kind of the equivalent of, it's Ong. It's kind of the equivalent of like the warp barrels in the first game. Or sorry, in the second and third games, unlike in the first game, where there actually are a few warp barrels in this game. But I mean, in that case right there, it's kind of similar to one, where it just lets you cheat past everything. Candy Kong, it will be our main way to save in this game. She would not come back until Donkey Kong 64. Yeah, she's a rather strange character in the Donkey Kong Country universe, I guess. And there you go, 14%, 20 minutes. Really? That's it? It feels like we've been playing for much longer than that. But with that said, that takes us to the very first boss of the game, Very Gnawty's Lair. So that is the name of the beaver enemies, and you pretty much just, you jump on top of him, and you just kind of do that, and they get pretty mad. I mean, honestly, and then yeah, that's the first boss of the game, everybody. They weren't very creative in their bosses in the first game. I have no idea why. It was pretty much the simplest boss that has ever been created, I swear. And with that said, I think this is kind of a short part, but I think this is also kind of where I want to leave it off, because this is a crazy world. And so I think we're actually going to leave it off here. I know that some people actually like kind of the shorter videos because they're easier to watch, unlike my 40-minute videos of the past, which kind of go on forever. So with that said, I think we're going to end it here. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And next time, we are going to be beginning World 2. So thanks, and see you later.